You want to learn French. You want to know how I successfully learned French, became fluent in 1 year, in that short period of time. Let's get straight to it. First thing, phrases. You must learn through phrases. I see a lot of people promoting grammar lessons, even gimmicky apps on your phone like Duolingo or Babbel or whatever crap one they come up with next. They don't work. Secondly, we're talking about commitment. You need commitment. You need a time commitment. You need a social or emotional commitment. And thirdly, you need a financial commitment to learning French. If you don't have one of these three, you're not going to succeed in learning French. I'm Rory, I'm 23 years old, I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I successfully learnt French in 1 year. I was fluent in 1 year, and that was off the back of never having any success learning a language through school, through the traditional methods, and then also having no one around me who knew how to speak a second language, really. I went out and I learnt all by myself, and I'm here now with you with this YouTube channel. This is the first video I'm posting, and it's French success with Rory. So I had my French success in a year, and I'm here to help you achieve yours, whatever that looks like. And I look forward to helping you out. Let's get straight into this video. So the first thing, phrases. What do I mean by phrases? It's very simple. You want to receive a large input of phrases. Now that's through your ears, listening, and eyes, reading. If you can do both at the same time, that's efficient. That's how we want it. That's exactly how I did it. For the first 3 months of my language study, what I did was I had this textbook, right? It's called Assimil. Assimil, I think it's a great textbook. For the first 3 months, you go through and you essentially have on one side of the page, it's around 100 lessons, you have on one side of the page of every single lesson, you'll have the French, okay? So it's 10 line items. It's a conversation at the cafe. Hi, how are you? Good, thanks. Can I please order? French conversation, 10 lines. On the other side of the book, English. English conversation, 10 lines. Now what I'd do was, I'd put in my audio, okay, use my earbuds, and I'd load up the lesson, I'd press play, and I'd read down. As it's playing, as native speakers are talking to me and narrating the whole lesson, I'd be reading. So I'd be getting double, right? I'd be getting two types of input. I'd be getting the auditory input and also the visual input. So with that, I would read through the whole thing, take my earbuds out, then I'd read back through again, and then I'd go to the English side, and then I would read, translate back to the French, skimming, just with my eyes. I'd be just looking back and forth. And with that, I'd be synthesizing, I'd be bringing together the two languages. And something that is very important is that every day you're progressing with the difficulty of these phrases, okay? We'll get into time commitment in a moment, but in terms of the phrases, the ones that you need to consume, you need to get flowing through, they have to increase in difficulty. You can't just stay at the beginner level. You've got to go a bit out of your comfort zone, right? It's like when you're growing up, right? If you remember back to when you were a kid, everyone had growing pains. Now they hurt. They hurt bad, right? Sometimes you couldn't even sleep. You'd wake up in the middle of the night because your knees were hurting, because your elbows were hurting, right? Because your shoulders were hurting. And the pain is there because you're growing, right? You can't have growth without pain, without some sort of sacrifice, some sort of, difficulty, right? Now, with French, how does that translate? It translates because when you feel a bit uncomfortable with your French, when when you're progressing with your French and you're increasing the difficulty and you go, oh wow, this is getting pretty difficult, I'm not sure I can handle it. Ask yourself, are these good growing pains? Or am I just wasting my time and I'm not understanding what I'm actually listening to and what I'm consuming? Because that's the only question you need to ask yourself, right? Is this productive? You watching right now, you may not have started learning French, and that's perfectly fine, right? It's actually very good news because we can build those habits from the start of learning French, right? You're able to implement them straight away, and that's a good thing. Now, for you who is watching and you've previously tried learning French, or you're currently trying to learn French, it's not working out quite how you may have wanted, right? You're not getting the results you want. You're frustrated, you're a bit disappointed, you're unsure of what to do, things aren't working how you want. We're able to change your learning method and get you large success, get you that French success, name of the channel, right, that you want, just like I did. Now, if we're talking about commitment, we've just talked about phrases. Let's talk about commitment. Time commitment. You have to study every day. It's non-negotiable. It's absolutely non-negotiable. You have to study every day, because if you don't make that time commitment, you're not going to succeed. Why is that? Because the human brain, it works in such a fashion, in such a way, that things that it sees and it recognizes that are coming through your brain and you're focusing on frequently, it deems them important, right? So I'm an accountant, right? So I'll be doing tax calculations for companies and individuals and, for other structures. And I'm able to do those quick because I do them frequently, right? I do them every day. So what does that mean? I'm able to, have those efficiencies in my brain, in my learning processes, where I can progress and continue to progress because I'm doing it frequently. How does that translate to French? Right, what's the meaning of that? Well, the meaning is, if you're learning French every second day, right, every third day, every week, just 1 day a week, 2 days a week, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to progress at the rate that you may want, right? You're certainly not going to become fluent in 1 year. That's for sure. I can promise you that, because your brain isn't going to prioritize the French learning over the other things that you've got, right, stacked on top of it. So you've got to prioritize your French. You've got to be serious about this. I see lots of people on YouTube do videos such as how I learnt French in 30 days, right? How I learnt French in 2 months, in 3 months. And that's all well and good, right? Those videos are extremely entertaining. I like watching them from time to time. They're good to listen to. The problem is with these videos is that it shortens your time horizon. It shortens your goal horizon. Because why would you want to have a 30-day goal when you can have a 1 year, 2 year, a 5 year goal? Why would you want your French to go away after 30 days? Because that's what happens with all of these YouTubers. Some very rare exceptions, they continue to learn French and they have a beautiful level and it's very good for them. I'm happy. However, there's lots of them where they'll learn for 30 days and then I'll go through the YouTube channel and I'll look, 6 months past that video, are they still learning French? And the answer is almost always no. They've just given it up. They don't want to. Yeah, they might have just done it for a challenge, right? But it's a real translation, because for you want to learn French. You're serious about this. You're just unsure on how to do it, right? You haven't had success in the past. You don't know how to go about it. And that's completely fine. That was me a few years ago. Now, if you're serious about this, you can't be thinking in terms of 30 days, in terms of 2 months, in terms of 3 months, 6 months. You got to be thinking beyond that. I was thinking, 2 to 5 years, 2 to 10 years, 2 to 20 years with my French. I'll never lose my French. I'll continue to study for the rest of my life. Now, for you, it may look different. I wanted to learn French in 1 year. I wanted to be fluent. I wanted to speak like I was French. I succeeded. But that was through study every single day. I made that time commitment to myself. Now, the second commitment is social or emotional commitment. I put this into a category of, all right, you get home from work, you get home from studying, you get home from school, what do? Do you go out with your mates every day after school? Do you spend 2-3 hours on the couch with your partner, right, or with your kids, watching TV and chatting with them? Yeah, you may, all right? You may do something else with your time. You may just scroll YouTube, right? You may have fallen on this video, luckily. You may do something else with your time. But you've got to allocate some of that time to French. You've got to sacrifice socially, okay? Because we're social beings. Humans are social beings. We love being around other people. Not all the time and not all the people in the world, that's for sure. However, we do have our social groups. And our social groups, our friends, our family, they want to see us, they want to spend time with us. Now, this is obvious, okay? But what's not obvious is that you've got to make a sacrifice here. You've got to commit and say, no, I can't go out and drink beers with you, okay? Friend group, right? Said friend group, said family group. I can't sit on the couch with you for 2 hours after dinner. I've got to spend 20, 30 minutes on French every night. And then we'll watch TV. And then we'll go and drink a beer, right? Because your time commitment is tied to your social commitment. And it's also tied to your financial commitment. Now let's go to that. Financial commitment. What does that mean? Why does the saying, put your money where your mouth is, exist? If you ask yourself that, why does it exist? It exists because it's asking you, how committed are you? How much do you back yourself? Do you have confidence in yourself that you can learn French? The financial commitment is key because the point is your money, right? If that just sits in the bank and you can never use it for anything, even an insurance policy, let's say it's locked in the bank, you can never spend it on anything or it can never help you with anything. What use is it? Just numbers, a random set of numbers just written in on a screen, right? In the bank. That's all it is. But money, its real value is what you can exchange it for. As you know, right? You've got $100,000 and you can buy a car. You can put a mortgage down on an apartment that you want to live in, right? You want to invest in, right? You can buy, your kids a t-shirt. You can buy birthday presents. You can learn things with that money you've got. Now me, I value my time. So I'm happy to spend, a certain amount of money to learn something and then to save time. Because if I can spend, say, for example, $5,000 or $10,000 and I can get 5 years of knowledge in a subject, on a subject, right, that is valuable to me, that's worth it every single day of the week. I take that every single day because 5-10 years of my life is worth way more than $5,000 or $10,000. It just is, right? We're only here for a certain amount of time. And there's only a certain amount of things that we even have time to spend on, right? There's only a certain number of things you can even do. And for French, I prioritized it. I was ready to spend some money to go and learn French. And that's what I did. I committed. I said, no, in a year I'm going to get there. And to get there, I know I have to commit financially, right? I have to commit socially, emotionally. And I have to commit my time as well. And once I did those three things, and I had the daily study through phrases, as we talked about before, things just fell into place. Every day I got better and better. Every day I progressed. Now, some days, of course, it's an up and down, right? It's never a straight, perfect line, perfect right angle up that way. No, it's never like that. You're going to have ups and downs. But the average, it was up every day. And that was because I commit. It was because I had that method of learning French through phrases that I developed, over the years, over seeing what doesn't work through the schooling systems, through traditional classroom learning, right? There's nothing wrong with traditional learning when it works, but for language learning, it's an absolute joke. It's a disgrace, I'll be completely honest. Like, if we just, are completely honest with each other, 99% of people don't learn a language at school. As in, 99% of people who have language classes at school don't learn the language. As in, after the school, they just give it up. Or they didn't even learn anything when they were there. Okay? And that's just because of the teaching method. If they taught phrases, they would be successful. And everyone would learn languages, and maybe I wouldn't even need to help you. Right? You would just know a language, and then you could go out and do it by yourself. But they don't. They teach you grammar. Right? They teach you how to think like a robot. Right? In rules, in structures that are concrete and don't vary out and don't change, which are unversatile and not practical in the French that you want to learn and that you need to succeed. Now, we've covered a lot in this video, yeah? The 2 pillars to me learning French were 1, through phrases, and 2, through commitment. And if this video spoke to you, you feel like it's, it's really, hit certain points you agree with, you think we, get along and agree on certain ideas, certain perspectives, then go ahead, and if you want to learn French, book a call with me one-on-one and we'll just have a chat. I'll see if I can help you out. So if you're ready to commit, right, with your time, with your social energy and with your finances as well, then go ahead and book a one-on-one call with me. We'll have a chat and I'm looking forward to helping you out because I don't like to waste time. I know you don't. We can just go straight into this and I'm going to work with you one-on-one to develop your own roadmap, right, your own game plan to learning French. So you don't have to go out and scour through the internet and find a way, through failure and trying all the different methods there are to learning French just to fail in the end, right? I can give you the exact blueprint I use to learning French and I can work with you one-on-one to develop that, to make sure that you are going to succeed in the fastest fastest time period possible, right? For me, it was a year, I was fluent. And for you, you may want to get there even faster. We can have a chat, see if our interests, goals align. Now, I look forward to speaking with lots of you, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.